Okay, in this video, what we're going to do is post a customer's payment, make a cash deposit, and apply that payment against multiple invoices. So let's get started. We're in the master menu, and where we're going to go is accounts receivable, which is number one. And in the accounts receivable menu, we're going to enter a payment. So number one does invoices, payments, or adjustments. We're going to go to number one. This time we're going to do it transaction type 2, and we're going to backdate this because I've got older data out there as far as demo, but in any case. So if I do a question mark DIG, we look up digital design, check number is 375221. Now this is what's important, 05012016. I don't care what date is on that check. The date you're making the deposit, that's what I want you to record in the computer system so that we can print out a cash receipts journal that matches your bank's deposit. And if you've made a deposit for the day, then all the remaining checks that you're going to deposit are going to go into the following day. So that'll be deposited at the bank tomorrow. Okay, that being said, we're going to put in the exact amount of the check, 1147.29, which pays multiple invoices. And 80% of the time, this is the case. Customer pays exactly the amount on the invoices. So to make this video short, we're going to cover that. So you would have done multiple your stack of checks. You're just plugging them in, plugging them in, plugging them in. It was that simple. And then at the end, you would separate your checks, make your bank deposit, and now we're going to look at the check stubs and apply them against the unpaid invoices. So I'm going to show you what the customer ledger card looks like now that we've posted a payment. 2045. I'm just doing this because 2016 to shorten the length of time. And this date on maximum date, by the way, when we age an invoice, we're aging it from this date. So I'm going to hit return the rest of the way down. And my purpose of showing you this is, what's a ledger card look like with open invoices and a check that was applied, or a check that was posted but not applied against any particular invoice. In a large company, there's somebody who opens a mail, records all the checks, and hands it to accounting to say start applying. So we're breaking it into multifunction here. So here we are. These are the due dates on an invoice, and here's how old it is in days. So here's our unapplied check, and that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so keeping it simple, there's only one unapplied check on this ledger card. So the program we're going to go to is number 6, which says manually reconcile a check against multiple invoices, or one invoice, whatever. So I go to number 6, 0501, and this is important because this is what sets how many days it took to pay that invoice. 2016. Again, I'm dealing with old data. 2045. And I'm just going to hit return here. Okay, there was only one unapplied check, so it just automatically grabbed it and stuck it up here. If there were more than one unapplied check, it would have stopped and asked you, which check are we going to work with? It's important to remember, do not do multiple checks simultaneously. Or if you're doing a credit, do the credit by itself. So we know how it was applied. All right, so that being said, I'm only going to pay 3 invoices here, and I'm going to skip one. So I'm going to go to number 2. And by hitting return, I'm saying I'm accepting applying the full amount of that invoice, the full amount of that invoice from that check. I'm going to go to number 3. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do number 4 and do the same thing. 356.20, and you'll see that this now balances to 0. Okay to reconcile, and no, it would get out of it, but in this case we're okay with that. So now let's go look at the ledger card and let's see what happened. I'm going to type in end 15 2045 0501 2016. Normally would hit return for today's date, but we're dealing with old demo data. Okay, so now what we have, if you look at a customer ledger card, we say, well, here's the checks that we just paid, or the invoices that we just paid. And we replace the due date with the check number that paid it and how many days it took to pay it. So we paid 3 invoices, and then here's the check. Okay, and that was pretty simple. So now, if I go to a ledger card again and do 2045 2045 0501 2016, and if I do open item, this is going to suppress any paid activity and only show me the unpaid invoices. That's the remaining. You'll note this was the same balance. Oops. That was the same ending balance. Okay. That is the simplified version of applying invoice against multiple, applying a check against multiple invoices. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll look for another video here.